All right, everyone. Today we are going to be discussing why there seems to be a lot of hate for JLo.
That I didn't think much of myself. And so the world didn't think much of me.
Everywhere you see in tabloids, not only are they discussing, the imminent divorce with Ben, they're talking a lot about JLo and not being super authentic. It starts from the one video in her movie where she talks about her being from the Bronx. Okay.
If that sounds crazy, it's because we are.
This TikToker came out hard in the comment section and said she was called a delusional chaos demon. And the clip was seen as really a failed attempt by the megastar to prove her humility and try to force this connection with her hometown. Number one, there's not a lot of people that can relate to JLo because she is considered one of the biggest divas. Now, diva can be used in a positive way or a negative way. In many cases, the diva reference to JLo is not really presented in the most positive light.
It was like a tough one for me.
In fact, this one commenter said, I understand that you're trying to milk this whole, I'm humble, I'm from the hood. This story doesn't really work for you anymore, says this TikToker who uses Sillimania in a video. This whole story of her trying to seem relatable and, more normal isn't really going to work for you. Just stop. All right. Because the other person who claimed to have gone to school with Jennifer Lopez says that she was never really from the Bronx. She was in an upper, economic area of the Bronx. She went to a private school. So at no point was JLo ever from the hood. At no point was she Jenny from the block. She's Jenny from the preps, I guess, is what they're trying to say. I'm still Jenny from the block. The roots really for Jennifer Lopez is not about growing up in this, impoverished state of being. The person said, if you know, you know. And some say this is doing some heavy lifting, and many are questioning if her order is a true Bronxite bodega order. Okay, I'm not really sure what that means, but being authentic seems to be a tricky lane, and a lot of people are hating on JLo or disliking JLo because they believe that she lacks authenticity in terms of her, where she grew up and where she came from. Okay. So the need to examine and re-examine ourselves and look in the mirror, say, what are we trying to relate to? What is Jennifer trying to say? That she, came from nothing and all of a sudden now she's this superstar, where, that narrative doesn't play well to people who knew her and to those who really grew up in, poverty or who grew up underprivileged, not somebody who attended a private school and then, got professional dance lessons and all of that. Now, celebrities are often praised for seeming authentic and giving their audiences a sense of intimacy and familiarity with them. But this authenticity is often linked to some backstory or some humble beginning or some real triumph over hardship. And so when it comes to Jennifer, the backlash again about her upbringing is really not resonating with people who knew her and those in present day because there's no evidence that she actually struggled. And so this documentary actually may have hurt Jennifer Lopez's appeal to being authentic. In fact, a lot of people who have watched her documentary, both on her love story and her upbringing, are saying that she is trying to create her own narrative and painting this false picture of who she is. Okay. Part of her building this brand, superstardom, and trying to get people to, per se, like her, is to have them buy into this story that her life was built on struggle. She didn't get everything her way. And I'm sure that Jennifer didn't get everything her way, but painting the picture of, or trying to paint this picture of her being somebody that truly struggled is, people are not buying that. Okay. There are other reasons why Jennifer is considered not likable. A lot of that has to do as well with the story and narrative that she's painted about her dating life, okay? Her dating life, yes, she has struggled in dating, absolutely. And she has dated some very famous people. So it's difficult for, I guess, her fans or the haters to feel sorry, to empathize with Jennifer Lopez. It's kind of like, oh, poor thing, you dated Diddy one time and you had to cover for him, or oh my goodness, your heart was broken because, he couldn't handle your fame. Or it seems as if any of her personal struggles and her romantic struggles, people aren't really empathizing with that. It's kind of like, well, you made the mistake. That's your problem, not our problem. It's difficult for people to kind of side with Jennifer when, she's trying to paint this narrative of her heart having been broken, but people aren't really seeing that. It's hard to feel sorry for someone who seems to have it all. And is that the reason why people really don't like her? She's massively successful. Her net worth is worth over $400 million. She's arguably, a superstar. She was in the Super Bowl with Shakira. She looked fabulous. I watched Hustlers. I watched a lot of her movies. In fact, I like a lot of her movies. I like the character she plays. I personally think she's a talented actress, at least for the movies that I've seen. Loved a lot of her rom-coms. And there's also critique about those movies as well, right? And who she is. And she's constantly playing these characters that are in love. And, there's this feel-good stuff, but in her personal home life, it's not great, right? She's had a lot of backlash with the fact that she is so famous. And she also did make our rudest celebrities list. And supposedly she has this crazy requirements and demands when she's around. She always travels with this massive entourage. So as far as being diva, she is known for being diva. One of the challenges or struggles that Jennifer has had with other artists, she's had some contentious relationships with Mariah Carey, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, and other people in Hollywood. The first part of revealing Mariah Carey and her sort of rift or beef, lack of closeness, is Mariah Carey mentioned something like, "I don't know her" comment. That sparked a long-standing feud between her and Lopez. Lopez and Carey have exchanged subtle public digs in the past. Now, Nicki Minaj and Lopez had an awkward moment on American Idol, followed by public tension. And Rihanna and Lopez had a fallout over Drake, leading to Rihanna unfollowing Lopez on Instagram. Now, Ojani Noah, Lopez's ex-husband, attempted to release damaging material post-divorce, violating confidentiality agreements. So there were some things that he wanted to say, but he couldn't say that. And Jenna Dewan allegedly found Lopez's behavior overbearing on the world of dance. Rosie Perez shared negative experiences with Lopez dating back to their time on In Living Color. And Matt Damon reportedly expressed concerns over Ben Affleck's marriage to Lopez in Marriage 1. So there's some considerations here. We want to reflect on the impacts of public feuds on personal and professional relationships in the celebrity world. We really don't know what goes on behind the scenes. It does feel like it's extremely competitive, right? You want to also understand that the media is going to portray potential exaggerations and distortions of what actually happens in celebrity conflicts. We really don't know. I'm reporting on what's been reported and what the tabloids have said. And we have to understand the balance between your personal life struggles and maintaining this highly successful public career. So the implication of past relationships on one's public image and, the conflict and the scrutiny doesn't paint a great picture for Jennifer, okay? If there is a feud and a longstanding feud with another popular artist like Mariah Carey, who's basically saying she's irrelevant or we don't F with each other, I don't know her, I don't really know her. Whereas Jennifer has claimed that, they do know each other. I mean, how does Mariah Carey not know Jennifer Lopez? I mean, Jennifer Lopez knows Mariah Carey. Maybe they were saying that they don't have a friendship, right? Maybe that was the basis of the whole thing. That being said, Jennifer Lopez's character and the fact that she is producing her own life story and she's creating this narrative where she wants to showcase her authenticity or wants to be relatable to public is really not going well. Instead of being relatable to public, she's being unrelatable to public. And more people are saying, I don't get this person. Like, does she think she's like us? Because I can't relate to that. A lot of people can't relate to the fame. They can't relate to her, feeling like she has insecurities and talking about her relationships. And everybody knows that Ben didn't want to be, in the public or talk about a relationship. And yet she's doing a whole story about her life and her romance. So those are some of the reasons why people are not liking Jennifer Lopez: the lack of relatability, the seemingly, set up narrative that she's trying to paint of herself and people aren't buying it. The fact that she is a mega superstar and other people in the industry have had issues with her also does not help with her reputation. What do you guys think? Are you guys a fan of Jennifer Lopez? What do you think she could be doing to win, your favor? Would love to hear in the comments below.